again, people. Want to cover this court case on Colorado and Trump. Colorado removing Trump from the ballot. So when I went to opinions on the Supreme Court, it was Trump v. Anderson. And when I clicked on that, it opened up the document. So if you want to go find that, you can. If you want to look in the top left here, here's the PDF address. I'll try to remember to put it in the description, but I'll probably forget. And so I read this entire thing. Basically, it comes down to I'm a little on the fence. First of all, the court rarely gives a 9-0 opinion. It does happen, but it's usually a split between political lines. And the fact that this case is a 9-0 makes me suspicious. Why would the libs agree, go against basically a left-wing Colorado calling? And as I read this document, I know why they did it. They are taking the position that their job is to, let me see if I can find that. So here's what I was looking for. If you read this, this is why they did it. They're protecting federal powers, and they don't want to give state too much power. So why did they go 9-0? In my opinion, they're protecting their own federal powers, and they don't want to give state power. Now, I don't think states ought to be able to say who can be on the ballot, but I think state rights ought to trump federal rights. And the Supreme Court obviously thinks they're more important, and how do they word this? Writings on the court should turn down or turn the national temperature down, not up. Maybe I can make that bigger for you guys. Turn the temperature down, not up. For present purpose, our differences are far less important than our unanimity. I fucked that word up. Anyway, all 9 justices agree on the outcome of the case. This is the message Americans should take home. I take home that the court thinks that their job is to control the temperature of the people and not represent the Constitution. Because the Constitution doesn't mention a damn thing about national temperature. Only the judges, the lawyers in robes that think they're special and they should control everything, only they think that they should control the national temperature. I don't. We the people shouldn't think that. Fuck the court on this bullshit. They need to control the temperature. That's not your job. Enforce the Constitution. That's it. A lot of people don't understand that when the court rules, they think the Supreme Court is the last rule of law, and once they rule, that's it. But that's not true. That's why we have 3 branches. Our legislators could pass a law tomorrow. All of our Congress could vote and say, you know what? We think states can remove the president, and we're going to make it law. And they all vote on it, and it becomes law. And then this ruling becomes jack shit. And if our Congress would slap the Supreme Court once in a while like that, it would maybe bring them back to reality that they're not kings and queens sitting on a lifetime appointment because they have a black robe and somehow they are willed this godly knowledge to always be right. Like I said, you rarely get a 9-0 reading. If you go through this whole thing, you can kind of get the opinion down here at the bottom. They all voted that Colorado can't remove Trump, but they don't like the fact that the 5 Republicans kind of took this in another direction, and kind of they're saying that it protected, I forgot where it was at here. Although we agree Colorado cannot enforce Section 3, we protest the majority, which means the other 5, effort to use this case to define limits on federal enforcement. So In order to enforce what Colorado thought they could enforce on Section 5, is Section 5 or Section 3? I think it's Section 5. I thought it was Section 5. Anyway, the court rules that Colorado can't enforce it, only Congress can. And not only can Congress enforce it, but it takes a 3/4 majority vote in both the House and the Senate. So I like when things happen and it requires the majority in both, because what that does is it takes away government from sticking their nose into every little issue that they think's important. This 51% majority democracy shit, we're a republic, and this 51% democracy shit makes it easy to pass these 5,000-page bills because you only need 51%. When you need 3/4 majority in both houses, a whole lot less shit gets passed. And there's a whole lot less bullshit running around trying to seize power easy. Government should not be easy. Seizing power and taking freedom should not be easy. This is a so-called win for Trump, but this is a win for the Supremes and the federal government also. Make no mistake. They don't like Trump, and they didn't do this for Trump. They did it for their own sleazy power to keep federal power. I wanted to add this in the opinion. I forgot to mention it. They mention the hissing copperhead, which I'm assuming they're referring to the Gadsden flag. And they're saying the purpose of Section 3, I guess it was Section 3. I thought Section 5 was in here too. Anyway, in Section 3, the purpose of Section 3 was to prevent people in the Civil War who, according to the federal government, started war against the federal government. Therefore, they were insurrectionists and they didn't want them getting power. So they enacted this act, and it was a warning. The Constitution reforms: yelling secessionists and hissing copperheads would take seats in the House. And they didn't want that because they already tried to overthrow the government. Even though our Constitution says it is the right of the people, not only our right, our responsibility to remove and replace a tyrannical government, which we have now, which we're not removing or replacing at all, but it is supposed to be our right and responsibility. But they made this Section 3 to stop people from taking office who were against the federal government. And they mentioned that the Civil War was about slavery. It was about state rights. You know, they want to make it about slavery to toot their horn and make it all about all the poor, this and a color issue and race and all that crap. It was about states' rights. States wanted the right to do what they want, and they didn't want a federal government like the Redcoats and the British telling us what to do and in our business. So, anyway, I thought it was interesting that they tried to sneak in the little Gadsden flag on "Don't tread on me." Don't freaking tread on the American people, we the people, and our rights. That's my opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. We'll end it there. Y'all have a good one.